Imagine being at the peak of fame and success, only to watch it all crumble before your eyes. From being the prince of professional wrestling and a world champion to facing a devastating collapse that nearly wiped out your career. How can an empire fall so quickly? In today's video, we'll explore how the glamour of the ring can turn into a personal nightmare. But before, make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell so you don't miss any of the amazing videos we'll be releasing. Before his WWE career, Alberto Del Rio was already a notable name in wrestling and mixed martial arts, competing in promotions like AAA and CMLL. Upon joining SmackDown, Del Rio was introduced with a character of a wealthy Mexican aristocrat, a persona he embraced with style, including his entrance in a luxury car and the support of his own ring announcer, Ricardo Rodriguez. Del Rio quickly became involved in high-profile rivalries, facing big names like Rey Mysterio, Matt Hardy, Big Show, and Christian. His skills and charisma earned him a shot at the World Heavyweight Championship at the TLC event, although he lost in a fatal four-way match. Del Rio's rapid rise was also reflected in his role as a mentor during the 4th season of NXT, initially for Conor O'Brien, who would later become Conor of the Ascension Tag Team. However, Del Rio ended up mentoring Brodus Clay instead, bringing him to SmackDown as his bodyguard. The pinnacle of his career seemed imminent when Del Rio won the 2011 Royal Rumble, eliminating Santino Marella last. This victory earned him a world title opportunity, and he challenged Edge for the World Heavyweight Championship at WrestleMania 27. Interestingly, this match would be Edge's final televised appearance before his temporary retirement. Del Rio continued his pursuit of the world title at Extreme Rules, but lost again, this time to Christian. A few weeks later, Del Rio was transferred to Raw and began a new rivalry with Big Show, defeating him at Capital Punishment. This win allowed him to enter the Money in the Bank ladder match, where he captured the briefcase, securing a chance at the WWE Championship at any time. Attempting to capitalize on the momentum, Del Rio tried to cash in after the main event that night, but was thwarted by CM Punk. However, he successfully cashed in at SummerSlam, taking advantage of a Kevin Nash attack to win the WWE Championship. Despite his achievement, Del Rio's reign was unremarkable, often seeming to be overshadowed by John Cena and Punk. His title reign was brief as he lost the championship to Cena at Night of Champions. Despite this, Del Rio remained a title contender. He regained the championship by defeating Cena again at Hell in a Cell, and solidified his status by beating Cena at Vengeance in a match affected by a previous ring collapse. However, Del Rio lost the title to Punk at Survivor Series and suffered an injury on the following Raw, sidelining him from the ring for several months. When Alberto returned to WWE, he immediately re-entered the hunt for the World Heavyweight Championship, now held by Sheamus. However, Del Rio faced a series of losses against the Celtic Warrior, including in a fatal four-way match at Over the Limit and a one-on-one rematch for the title at Money in the Bank 2012. The rivalry between Del Rio and Sheamus extended over several months, with the two wrestlers clashing at events like SummerSlam and Night of Champions. During this time, WWE was promoting Sheamus as a future top star, and Del Rio was positioned as one of his main challengers. After this period, Del Rio distanced himself from the world title scene and began a rivalry with Randy Orton. However, this feud did not have the same impact, with Orton dominating the storyline. Following this phase, Del Rio made a babyface turn. In a Miz TV segment, Ricardo Rodriguez found himself in a situation involving 3MB, who were mocking the Spanish commentary team. Rodriguez intervened and was attacked by 3MB, leading Del Rio to rescue him and team up with The Miz and the Brooklyn Brawler to face 3MB at the TLC 2012 event. This change led Del Rio to adopt a new Latino hero persona, defending the Hispanic community, while Ricardo Rodriguez became a more central figure in his act, often playing the comedic victim. During the build-up to the Royal Rumble, Ricardo Rodriguez faced Big Show, resulting in a brutal attack. To avenge his friend, Del Rio challenged Big Show to a last man standing match at the Royal Rumble. Inspired by John Cena's match against Batista, Del Rio used tape to bind Big Show's legs to the bottom rope, preventing him from breaking free and securing the victory with a 10 count. With the World Heavyweight Championship belt around his waist, Del Rio successfully defended his title at Elimination Chamber, and then started a rivalry with Jack Swagger leading up to WrestleMania 29. Swagger, with his manager Zeb Coulter, adopted an anti-immigrant stance, challenging the new Mexican champion. Del Rio defeated Swagger at WrestleMania, and later in a handicap match, ending the rivalry. However, Del Rio suffered an injury after his victory, which opened the door for Dolph Ziggler, who had won the Money in the Bank briefcase. Ziggler, accompanied by Big E Langston and AJ Lee, cashed in at a highly dramatic moment, defeating Del Rio and becoming the new champion. This cash-in highlighted Ziggler's growing popularity and underscored Del Rio's struggle to gain fan support. Although Del Rio had been successful in some rivalries, he seemed naturally better suited to a villainous role. During the title rematch at Payback, Del Rio turned heel by repeatedly attacking Ziggler's injured head. This strategy led him to reclaim the title at Money in the Bank, ending his rivalry with Ziggler and demonstrating that his switch to a more villainous character was more effective for him. After his loss to John Cena at Hell in a Cell, Alberto Del Rio entered a new phase of his career, facing fresh rivalries and challenges. Initially, Del Rio started feuds with Christian and Rob Van Dam, but the situation escalated when, after a loss to Van Dam, his frustration led him to attack Ricardo Rodriguez. This attack resulted in Rodriguez teaming up with Rob Van Dam, leaving Del Rio without support. Before the match, Vicky announced that Del Rio would defend his title against John Cena at Hell in a Cell. At Hell in a Cell, Cena, returning from an injury, won the World Heavyweight Championship, ending Del Rio's reign. Following this defeat, Del Rio faced a series of challenges and rivalries. He began exchanging victories with Sin Cara before getting involved in a feud with the returning Batista at the 2014 Royal Rumble. Del Rio was eliminated by Batista, who went on to win the match, further fueling Del Rio's anger. The feud between Del Rio and Batista failed to capture the fans' interest, especially with Batista replacing Daniel Bryan, the crowd favorite. Batista's victory in a singles match at Elimination Chamber pushed Del Rio further down the card. His popularity continued to decline, and he failed to capture any major titles, losing the Money in the Bank ladder match, being defeated by Sheamus in his quest for the United States Championship, and losing a Battle Royale at Battleground for the vacant Intercontinental Championship. During this period, reports emerged about Del Rio's backstage conduct. On August 7, 2014, he was released from WWE due to inappropriate behavior. The situation involved Del Rio assaulting WWE social media manager Cody Barbieri after Barbieri made a racist joke. WWE publicly stated that Del Rio was responsible for his actions and that there was no excuse for his behavior. While many understood Del Rio's outrage over the racism, his handling of the situation was questioned. WWE eventually fired Barbieri, which some saw as the right move under pressure from the roster and minority groups in the locker room. However, WWE's response and Del Rio's conduct revealed flaws on both sides in how the situation was managed. After a period away from WWE, Del Rio made a surprising return at Hell in a Cell, challenging John Cena and winning the United States Championship. This new title fit well with his character, and Del Rio formed the unofficial Mex America faction with Zeb Coulter, former manager of Jack Swagger. Del Rio attempted to add the WWE Championship to his collection, but failed in the tournament to crown a new champion. During this time, a new rivalry emerged between Sheamus and Roman Reigns for the title, with Sheamus forming the League of Nations faction. Del Rio joined Sheamus, Wade Barrett, and Rusev in this faction of foreign villains, aiming to dominate WWE. After the dissolution of the League of Nations, Alberto Del Rio's career took a significant hit. The group, intended to dominate WWE, ended up serving more as a stepping stone for Roman Reigns' rise than as a real threat. Del Rio, in particular, lost momentum and eventually lost the United States Championship to Kalisto on an episode of Raw, a defeat that occurred away from the glamour of major pay-per-view events. The dissolution of the League of Nations took place during a WrestleMania segment featuring legends like Shawn Michaels, Mick Foley, and Stone Cold Steve Austin. With the group disbanded, Del Rio found himself in a tough spot, often used to elevate other wrestlers and lacking clear direction. Del Rio's frustration with this situation only increased when he violated WWE's wellness policy on August 18, 2016, and exercised a release clause in his contract, allowing him to leave the company. In addition to professional frustration, Del Rio faced significant personal issues. His relationship with Paige, which became widely publicized after its revelation, had a profound impact on their lives. Both began to be involved in various controversies. In October 2016, Del Rio was allegedly attacked before a AAA show, with photos showing cuts and bruises on his body. However, details of the attack were confusing and inconsistent, leading many to question the veracity of the story. Del Rio's relationship with Paige continued to generate negative news. After an independent show in Puerto Rico, Paige surprised everyone by proposing to Del Rio, even though he was still legally married to his ex-wife. The proposal caused discontent in Paige's family, with her father expressing opposition to the relationship. Things took a turn for the worse shortly thereafter. Del Rio got involved in backstage altercations, including one with a wrestler who believed Del Rio had inappropriately touched Paige. The fights and controversies continued, culminating in an incident where Del Rio and his brother assaulted a fan at an independent show, leading to the fan's hospitalization and Del Rio's arrest. In December 2016, Del Rio made a drunken live broadcast criticizing Triple H and WWE, which only worsened his situation with the company. Del Rio's personal situation also deteriorated. In November 2017, he and Paige were involved in a heated argument at Orlando International Airport, with witnesses alleging that Del Rio physically assaulted Paige before she threw a drink at him and attempted to flee. The relationship was marked by constant fights and breakups, eventually ending in November 2018. Paige later revealed the physical and mental abuse she suffered during the relationship, as well as issues with drug use. This period was deeply regrettable, and the breakup proved beneficial for Paige, who managed to rebuild her life. For Del Rio, things continued to fall apart after the relationship ended. In May 2020, he was arrested in San Antonio on charges of aggravated assault with a deadly weapon against his girlfriend. Although Del Rio was released on $50,000 bail, the charges were dropped on December 10, 2021, after several trial delays. What do you think that really caused Alberto Del Rio's career downfall? Let us know in the comments below. And if you enjoyed the video, don't forget to hit the like button and share it with your friends. See you in the next one.